You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Arilu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Arushale swiftly drops to one knee and bows her head. Girl, what are you doing?
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Arushale. You may rise.
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
She stands up awkwardly and looks at Nocticula first and then at you with a stunned expression. The evil option is to swear loyalty to her? Not like attack on sight or anything, just swear loyalty. I mean, I guess it's like, you know, hey, devil, let me be your boy. You've been sitting on your throne and listening to us the whole time?
Naturally. I am in the habit of observing my servants and guests while remaining unseen. Their private thoughts fly most eagerly from their lips when they believe themselves to be unwatched. And secrets exchanged in whispers are often invaluable.
Nod calmly. Greetings, Lady Nocticula.
Such an impenetrable face you have, mortal. It hides your heart well. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alashanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities.
I killed most of them.
You've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nahindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Why do you think the Hand of the Inheritor is going to die?
Because he charged off all alone into the vastness of the abyss. An old friend awaits him there. The Echo of Discari.
Uh-oh.
And the Echo has been anticipating this meeting for a long time.
The Hand of the Inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the Abyss, but not yours.
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Why does the Echo of Discari prey upon the Hand of the Inheritor?
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities.
Little boys!
The Echo suffered more than one defeat. First at Eridan's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess.
She's talking about like
Now,
Giga Demons and Ultra
he
Angels,
has
little
decided the
boys.
time has come. The Herald of Iomade himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
Tell me about the Echo.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Galarian.
That's
and
like
assert
calling
his
Godzilla a
influence
pet
there.
lizard.
One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eridan, protector of humankind. Eridan gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole Abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket the Younger is alive and well,
Cricket the Younger.
though I cannot say the same for Eridan. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eridan, especially his inheritor, Iomade. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomade's pet pug if she had
I thought he one-shot a dragon. Not the Echo, the main one did. Not the Echo of it. Gilder's 2 stories that bad after all. Kot, you gotta keep in mind, these are like major revelations, like 70 hours into the game, right? There was a lot of story and foundation built up before this. Like, some of this stuff is like major reveals. I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomade, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
Malicious smile appears.
Was it really necessary to bother the dearly departed Alanithia? The shriek she let out upon returning to her grave interrupted my train of thought and quite spoiled my mood.
Yeah, it looks like the Nilfeshnis from the Rift of Repose really have it in for you.
Let them nurse their grudge. Those fat, smug wretches think themselves the guardians and heralds of the Abyss. But the Abyss has no need of servants. They once dared to come to me with some ludicrous demands. I can only presume that after receiving the heads of their brethren in response, the rest found their ire somewhat cooled.
How did you kill the passion in Olinthia's heart?
Do you honestly think you can find out such precious secrets that easily?
That was worth a shot.
How I dealt with past enemies is knowledge I guard very closely, and you already know more than anyone else. Be content with what knowledge you already possess.
What is that
You seek
right there
more at
moving?
your
Is that
own
Tails?
peril.
Alright, I think we've spent enough time on this matter.
Indeed. We have business concerning the living. We need not waste any more time on the dead.
Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering in her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink. Mother mucker. The succubus that died before our eyes in the Nexus, and with her death rattle gave us some crucial information. What was this lady? She's not even dead. I feel like every interaction this whole game is just like, okay, y'all know Reverse Flash? Yeah, no, it was me, Barry. It was me. Like, this lady is Reverse Flash. Like, everything I've ever done. No, you thought it was me, Barry. I turned back time. I did it. There's steel in Nocticula's voice. Another island, another loss. Enough. I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare. Nocticula sent the green-eyed servant away and turns her face to you once again. I think I would just look a fool if I said the first thing. Say nothing. I digress. Let us continue. I've prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Galarian, and you have the chance to become part of that intrigue. I wish to inform you of treason. She looks quite amused. Is that so? Who is it you decided to inform me on? And more importantly, how did you learn of these traitors, and how credible are these accusations? Shamira is researching Nahantrian crystals in secret. Perhaps she's planning to overthrow you. That's the only demon lord I haven't killed yet. A small smile appears on Nocticula's lips. How nice of you to warn me, I'm impressed. I do wonder, however, did you really think I was unaware of this, or did you merely want to demonstrate your loyalty? Either way, I appreciate you telling me. I will take this as proof I can rely on you. You were very astute to uncover Shamira's desire to dethrone me, and I was particularly sensible of you to keep your mouth shut about the secrets of the Nahantrian crystals. I suppose your caution calls for a reward. At the snap of Nocticula's fingers, one of the servants approaches you and presents you with a delicate package wrapped in gossamer-like silk. Item received aspect of the asp. Mining Nahantrian crystals is a surefire way to sink the island the crystals are on to the bottom of the Ishiar. I assume you understand why all who attempted to procure them on Olympia were executed. At least you didn't tell Shamira about the mines you found. The last thing I need is the ardent dream burrowing under my capital. A friend of mine, the storyteller, has peered into the future, and in his vision, Hepsamira was sending demons after you. The demons were strengthened by Nahantrian crystals. A hint of dangerous excitement creeps into her voice. You are a font of knowledge, my dear guest. Let's just say I'm not surprised by her appetites. The ambitions of that brat, or her lecherous goat of a sire, were bound to surface sooner or another. But your warning will encourage me to keep a closer eye on her. By the way, she's saying Baphomet is a lecherous goat of a sire. This lady, the way she downplays people, she called Discari Cricket, and Cricket the Younger. It's... oh my god. It's like calling Zaitan the little undead lizard. You could have gone to Hepsamira with this and received a payment for your silence. Your foresight must not go unrewarded. Received secret ingredient and 3,400 XP. Why do you still tolerate Shamira? Someone has to deal with trivial matters. Shamira's betrayal was assured the moment I made her my favorite, just as Zephorians before her. The second always dreams of rising to be the first. I know the feeling well. Alright. I don't really want to talk about any of this. Okay. I want to ask you about other powerful denizens of the Abyss. Are you really interested in one of my servants, or do you wish to tell me, for me to tell you something about your enemies? Everything is clear. I want to know more about you. Recounting my whole story would take longer than your brief mortal life allows. The list of demon lords I've slain is endless on its own, as is the number of islands under my rule, and that's just the past. There's also my future. What do you plan to do next? Subdue all the Abyss? Possibly, or perhaps I have something grander in mind. The Abyss? Who cares about the Abyss? Nocticula's full-throated laughter rings out like a challenge to the entire world. I have no more questions. Did Aurilu really create me? She has certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Vorlesh designed the World Wound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we require a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and that wound on your chest were the result of her experiments, and she infused your soul with the essence of the Abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified to the extent that it was possible so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of Nahantrian crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you right now was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you followed your queen's order and arrived here early. One can only hope that you are prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, says Aurilu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool whom we could fling into the flames of the world wound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Aurilu off. Don't be too hasty. We have burdened him with enough revelations for now. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself, then you can share all the details. What exactly are you offering me? I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. I may not know the reasons why Galfrey sent you into the Abyss, but I know how I can use your crusade to our mutual benefit. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well. What's more, I have never schemed against Galarian, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane, at least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. Why would you want to close the wound? When the world wound opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it a crossroads of worlds where demons, devils, and angels could meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas, but the Midnight Isles were not the only realm that had been linked to Galarian through the wound. Deskari and Baphomet now also had a way from their realms into your plane. Their servants flooded my islands and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. They were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether on Galarian or in any other abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass, and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord is a polite fiction. Both the Deskarites and the Baphomets were attempting to amass their power and influence in Elutionra to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlesh told them about Nahandrian crystals. They realized what kind of power Vorlesh is right there. They realized what kind of power the crystals hold, and now they are determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but flotsam, slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishiar. Okay, so when she was talking to that other succubus and she said we lost another island, they must have mined it clean. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans, so instead I will teach my neighbors a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. And if you're so powerful, why do you need me? By the way, I like that it's letting me ask these questions. If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Deskari could never best me, but they could sow enough chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of Elutionra. No, I will wage a war on my own terms in the shadows, and I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into the enemy's back. And since Galfrey happened to send you into my realm, you have the honor of becoming my blade, mortal. Be glad you're wielded by skillful hands. That was a very cocky sentence. We should also reveal how exactly our blade will be employed. Nocticula silences Aureliu with a sharp gesture. We can discuss the details later when the moment is right. Now is not the time for idle conversation. That is the second time that Aureliu has tried to tell me something and Nocticula basically shut her up. What do I gain by serving you? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interests. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you gifts befitting your ambitions, and my patronage, which you can certainly count on, will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream up. And how exactly do you plan to close the world wound? She rolls her eyes. It's a complicated magical process. You will receive precise instructions once you've captured the Threshold Fortress in Galarian. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlesh opened the world wound, you will be able to close it. But first, you have to crush the Guardians of the Threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzibah, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Nahandrian crystals in my realm. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Galarian can stand against them. You must stop Hepzibah. If you do not, your world will fall, and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one point, I disclosed the secret of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Deskari, Xanthir Vang, I killed him, and Mutasiphon. It was a well-calculated gambit which bought us time and assured both Deskari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mutasiphon is Hepzibah's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzibah is currently on another island far from here. The route to this place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living chat prediction? In the bar, there's a named NPC that has been useless this whole time. She has a ship. I bet we're going to use her to travel across the water of the abyss. Okay. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, the crews discover they've been gone for 100 years? That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey. I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew, but if you kill Hepzibah, it will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Nocticula casts a sidelong glance at Arushale. Then again, I'm not offering you anything new, as you're already enjoying my favor, Commander. Your companion is a succubus, and I'm the succubus queen. This demon follows you around only because I allow it. Tell me, Arushale, are you grateful that I'm not forbidding you from traveling with the Commander and fighting against your own kind? The succubus reluctantly lowers her head. You are incredibly generous, Our Lady in Shadow. You are whipped. Sela winks at you. So what do you think, Commander? Personally, I'd rather take my chances rowing to this another island far away from here in a rusty bucket than make any deals with the Lady in Shadow. I'll steer. Sela, you're a raging alcoholic. Why is it so important to kill Hepzibah? I'm like, Sela, the adults are talking right now. Daskari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the world wound. They'll send their armies after you, so you will need an army of your own, and that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzibah is mining more and more Nahandrian crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Galarian. If you don't stop her, the Crusader resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of the demons pouring through the world wound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army's supply of Nahandrian crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. I will consider your offer. And accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzibah visits Alushra every now and then, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Colifer, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig Nahandrian crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Galarian. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. Oh, I'm not going to take the ship. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. If I am going to depart for Colifer, your guards must watch over my camp on the Nexus and all who are residing there. She nods regally. I will send my assassins to ensure that no harm comes to your entourage. Be grateful for my patronage, mortal. Alright, let's muck and go. Aurilu, you are no longer needed here. As you wish, my lady. Aurilu vanishes, but you notice the look in her eyes, pensive and appraising. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where Aurilu was but a moment ago, then stops you with a commanding gesture. There is one more thing we must discuss. The Lexicon of Paradox, Lady Vorlesh's magical treatise that contains the many secrets of the world wound. Thought you were going to become a lich? I am, but I can't do the last step of it until I get back to the human world. And right now I'm in the abyss. I'm basically in hell right now. And I gotta get out of here to finish the ritual. You and my servant, Lady Vorlesh, were just talking about the Lexicon of Paradox. For many years, it has remained split in half, harmless. But what once was divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book could impart to its owner? What if they expand the world wound even further or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicon of Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You already possess the first half of the book. Find the other one and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book into my keeping will also protect Galarian from suffering a second world wound disaster. The Lexicon of Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags. Wouldn't you agree? Why do you need the book? One world wound has been enough of a nuisance for me. I want to ensure that some future mage leafing through this book doesn't link my realm to another plane. I will consider your offer. The reward will not disappoint you, I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. I'm ready. I hope you're well prepared. Have you brought your strongest companions? On your journey, they will be the only ones you can rely on. You will receive no reinforcements, and you will not see those you leave behind on Elinthria for a very long time. Don't dismiss the importance of preparing for this mission. When you're ready, step into this portal. It will take you to my airship. The captain and crew have already received their instructions, and good luck to you, mortal. An extraordinary adventure awaits you. Okay. Can you go back? I could, but I don't have a need to do that. Like, literally, my quest is go. Like, I've done everything else except go forward. However, we did level up our mythic path, so I can add another level to Lich. Let's see, what do we want? Spell pen. See, extra mythic ability. Don't want this. Let's get Last Stand. We'll get this on everyone eventually. Alright, new Lich Power. Let's see. It's been a while since I got a Lich Power. Let's see. Withering Life. Chant, nullifying, tainted stink attack, negative energy. That's for Kineticist. Spell Resistance. That's insane. Spell Resistance 25 plus Mythic level. That is really wild. Indestructible Bones, DR10 something. Whenever an enemy lands a hit, the enemy becomes cursed with decaying muscles. Under this fight, the enemy becomes 2 on attack rolls to defend multiple applications of this. Oh, I don't know which one I want first. Indestructible Bones or Magic Devourer. It's probably going to be one of those two, though. So basically, this helps versus physical hits, and this helps versus magical ones. Let's go with Magic Devourer. Much smaller chance to get hit by spells with that. What is Spell Resist? Okay, so normally, let's say someone rolls to hit you with like a fireball. Fireball is like, you know, just a big ball of fire smashes into the area where you were standing. You roll a reflex save. Think about someone trying to like jump out of the way. If you succeed in rolling the reflex save, you take half the damage because it like blows up right behind you. If you fail the save, you just take the whole hit. Spell resistance is not a factor at all if you don't have any spell resistance. If you have any spell resistance, they first have to roll to beat your spell resistance before you even talk about what happens with the spell. And spell resistance 25 is really high because they have to roll like a 20-sided die, so they roll between a 1 and a 20 and then add some of their skills to it. So there's going to be a lot of opponents that can't beat that. So, and then there's some more to this too. Let's see. Whenever an enemy fails to overcome your spell resistance, the next spell the Lich would cast, or Kinetic Blast, but that's for a Kineticist, which I'm not, as though using Quicken, okay, so your next spell speeds up. And we get a new set of spells, too. Look at all this. We'll look at that in a minute. So let's see. Okay, and so let's look at our Lich spellbook. And go through this stuff. Let's get another haste there. And another... Where is it? Eyes of the Book. Well, what does Animate Dead do right now? Right, it says 1d4 plus 2 Undead Skeletal Champions. I don't know how much that's going to help me at this level. They might be too weak. Do that for now. Tier 6. I can have one Tier 6 spell. What have we got? Let's see. Create Undead. Summons a Grave Knight or Guardian Armor to attack. Evil spell. Bone Shield. Create a shield of bones around yourselves. Gives you 6 shield bonus to armor class and immunity to critical hits for 1 minute per caster level. So I've got a feat where anything that lasts over 5 minutes will instead last 24 hours. I could keep this up permanently. False Grace affects all allies in 30 feet, giving bonus additional hit points. That's certainly pretty good. It's like higher max health once per day. Blasphemy. Banshee Blast. Just a lot of damage. Circle of Death. This attempts to do an instant kill, but you have to spend 10 diamond dust to even try it. Fester. Blocking healing abilities against swords as well as I guess restore hit points. Give, oh, that is wow, that is cool. Give an enemy spell resistance against healers on their own team. If it lands. Harm, bunch of negative energy. I like this massive buff for my squad. I like that. Let's get that. Okay. What have we got for, see, improved initiative is fine. And let's get Shulk. When you miss a melee target, still takes damage equal to your strength bonus. Yeah, that's fine. Destructive Shockwave. And Noxie. Destiny Beyond Birth. What? Oh. Does she already have Die Hard? Yeah, she does. Let's just get Dodge. More armor class is never a bad thing. Lower chance to get hit. So this is our cleric. Greater enduring spells. Abso-freaking